42 seconds of logos, mostly for companies that probably don't exist anymore.
America is an irradiated wasteland.
Tell me something I don't know. Also, narration.
Mega blocks, mega highways,
Megalodons?
Mega City 1.
Clever name. Did you have a contest among school children, or did you just all immediately realize the brilliance? Way better than what I would have gone with, which would have been something like Diseaseopolis, or Dirt City, or We Are Still So
Convulsing, choking.
Dredd perfectly describes my first sexual encounter.
The men and women of the Hall of Justice.
Well, at least in their pursuit of justice, they aren't wasting tons of money powering a giant eagle light sign outside their building. Wait, they f***ing are? Also, Hall of Justice. Super Friends called, and probably the comic Super Friends was based on also called. And my point is, Hall of Justice is already taken, dweebs.
Juries, executioners,
Clerks, typists, coffee vendors. If we weren't having so many issues with music lately, I'd cut in the score from Matrix Reloaded when Trinity reverses course and drives the motorcycle against traffic. It goes like this.
Driving erratic. Suspects are under the influence of narcotics.
Mind you, they are on narcotics, but seriously, how would he know this? Pretty sure he's a judge and not a doctor, Jim. This movie is fun. The editing of this early car chase scene, not fun. Vomit-inducing. How are these other cars just driving like it's a normal Monday morning? No one's slamming on the brakes or swerving out of the way of f***ing automatic weapon fire?
He's right on us!
How exactly did they think they lost him? They've been driving about 45 the entire time. Dredd Theft Auto. And there were magically no cars anywhere near or around this vehicle when it wiped out all over the f***ing place, even though we've seen a steady flow of mega traffic for the entire opening of the film.
All shoppers are reminded to avoid the level 1 food courts until further notice.
Food courts. Zooted dog.
You aren't a very good negotiator, Judge. You know why? You got no leverage.
There are many, many cool things about this movie, but these opening scene villains are not one of them. It's as if they had some leftover villain scraps from RoboCop 3.
I said, hot shot.
If you could fire into dude's mouth, was there really any reason to use the hot shot round instead of a regular bullet? Other than to alert the audience to the fact that these judge guns have multiple types of rounds.
The level 1 food court will reopen in 30 minutes.
Futuristic health code standards. Casual blood sweeping.
She's a mutant.
I am sick and tired of movies making mutants out to be scorn-worthy by the very nature of their mutation. They didn't ask for this.
She's the most powerful psychic we've ever come across by a huge margin.
I guess Miss Cleo didn't survive the radiation.
I want you to take her out. Give her one day in the field.
What could go wrong?
A rookie judge on assessment is likely to be involved in armed combat. 1 in 5 don't survive the first day.
1 in 5? That seems like terrible odds. Who the would want to be a judge? 41 seconds of slow-motion water shenanigans. Fucking run, idiot!
12 serious crimes reported every minute. 17,000 per day.
Hold up, 17,000 serious crimes per day? In a city with 800 million citizens? That's a crime rate of, so low it's mathematically zero. This movie makes it seem like the crime outnumbers the cops so bad it's near a breaking point, but then throws out statistics to suggest the crime here is pretty minimal overall. It's both comforting and frustrating to know that no matter how bad society gets as a whole, skateboarding will always be popular to a handful of people.
Unemployment rate at 96%. And more than half the residential levels here are classed as slums.
You think? 96% unemployment here? Honestly surprised the slum percentage isn't higher. Nothing to see here.
Took over the top floor of the block and started working her way down.
How did she get up to the top in the first place? And with enough firepower to take over? Did she parachute in? Movie yada yada's a lot of and thinks its raw style will make you forget, and it mostly does. So the slow-mo just works automatically? Even a hit of acid or shrooms takes at least 25 minutes to kick in, or so I've been told. Holy where did that pink dragon come from?
Sir, a helmet can interfere with my psychic abilities.
I think a bullet might interfere with some more.
Almost Human would be excellent at CinemaSins. Also, couldn't she have the helmet with her to put on when her psychic abilities aren't needed? For instance, when she's f***ing being shot at? I will say this for the movie. The slow-mo drug plotline gives it a reason for the action movie slow-motion cliche, which leads to some really f***ing cool effects, like the skin rippling and the ensuing gun battle. That deserves a send-off. This is simultaneously fake as and gross as Hey, she stole her superpower from David Dunn. Wait, is this the real stealth sequel to Unbreakable? Discount Donald Gleason, holy
Judges, no.
He seriously just saw them now? Was copper wire origami really enough of a distraction to not see an entire f***ing gunfight? Ah, whatever that is. Hot blueprint file action. Fine, this guy is sleeping on the job, but there are other people in the room. No one saw this screen come on?
Hall of Justice and all emergency services are notified to ignore your status.
This seems like a really dangerous way to conduct a test. It's a fake test, but she doesn't know that. And my point is that for a real test, these f***ers tell the cops and firemen to ignore emergency signals from a building that houses 70,000 lives. So they're taking Mama's assassin down to the ground floor here. But remember those other 7 people and 4 corpses from that same apartment they called the meat wagon for? What about them? The corpses will wait, but there are a handful of cuffed perps in that that apartment for the rest of this movie.
Warned you. Get up. You're headed for the cube.
I get that Dredd is Dudley f***ing Do-Right, but come on. He's got to deal with a possible murderer that skinned 3 people alive, and he's gonna give a guy shit for essentially sitting.
What's going on?
Can't you tell me? You're only f***ing psychic. What is this fresh hell? How do I compute what these numbers mean? Why did they start keeping time so f***ing differently in the future?
Shielding must be blocking our transmissions.
Because that's what you do during emergencies. You lock down residential towers and block all radio signals in and out. Who the f*** designed this system?
As for the judges, sit tight or run. Makes no difference, you're mine.
Yeah, but after the judges are killed and Peachtree is back open, won't more judges come and take out Mama? I don't think she thought this through very well. Holy shit, the building's on lockdown, shields are preventing radio signals from going or coming, but the f***ing elevators still work?
I want the north and east corridor totally covered.
Whoa, younger, fatter Armand Asante is almost certainly about to die.
It's you doing the complying, Judge. There's 10 of us, only 2 of you.
But they're judges. This is like an Imperial droid talking smack to a Jedi just because he's got a dozen droids with him. I mean, the fire bullet and now the stun grenade. Feels like this movie is more about gadgets than the story. He's got something new for every scenario. You could have called it Utility Belt the Movie.
There are no sides. You're already dead.
Doctor is addicted to Dredd and Dredd's duty, and Dredd's disciple and their detainee, and it's devastating to their desire to delay death.
Switch weapon to silencer mode. Our best bet now is to go covert.
Except Mama has control of everything, including the cameras and microphone, so what's to stop her from just yelling out your location constantly? Why isn't she doing that right now, actually?
And don't shoot unless you're gonna hit.
Wow, exactly what my college girlfriend said to me during her extra mean during sex phase.
The sign says it's broken, but it works as long as you're hitting a button above level 75.
How convenient! They need to get to the top, and this secret elevator with a glitch will help them do that much more quickly. Of course, Anderson killed this woman's husband, because movie.
Ma, you better come quick.
Just a minor variation on the you better come take a look at this cliche.
Where are they now?
I don't know, but they seem to be moving their way up the block.
The building has all this surveillance equipment, but Ex Machina has no way of knowing that they are on the service elevator.
That's not good.
Full lockdown. They're going nowhere.
Awesome. Rad. Sweet. Why didn't you do that immediately, back when they were on the ground floor, or the first time they got in an elevator?
I tried to do this clean, but they wouldn't let me, so now we do it messy.
In what scenario would this be clean? And do we really have a villain poo-pooing the heroes because they didn't want to be brutally murdered? That just seems like non-productive thinking. This guy tries to rattle his captor by talking about basically the massive rape she will receive by his criminal buddies if they catch her. And I'm just over here like, god damn, even Avon Barksdale wasn't this evil. You, sir, need the Holy Spirit.
I was trying to shock you out of thinking about this.
What are you thinking about now?
But she can control what she chooses to concentrate on, right? Because if not, with as many people as she has passed in Peachtree, she should be in psychic overload at this point. So she has big-ass guns, but she's gone all in here with these things. You can't easily and quickly move these big-ass guns to another location. So if you don't kill Dredd here, which you obviously won't, then you have wasted these guns. And now you are the ones who are the ball lickers. And CG blood looks so bad. I miss the days of that neon orange they used in a lot of the 70s cop films. That guy hid behind a table. Sure, why not? Mama is now a better gunner on the 50 cal than any of her henchmen. Of course, makes perfect sense. Seems as good a time as any for They Survived This. In fact, this entire film could be retitled They Survived This. So let's just go ahead and tack on 20 additional sins. You might say that's arbitrary as and I would say welcome to CinemaSins. Hope you stay a while. To avoid being shot, they both willingly jump out of a hole in the building. Thankfully, they land on a skateboard park patio built on the upper floors. But also, couldn't they have died by just sliding down the building to the ground? I mean, look how f***ing unique and random this patio skate park is. The odds they jumped out a hole and landed here? Astro-f***ing-nomical. Where are they now? Weren't they blocked off from going really anywhere, except for the side of the floor that's been destroyed? And I know he threw that one guy to his death, but where's the rest of Mama's crew that was looking for them? I'm not saying it's not possible they got away safely, but I am saying the movie just yada-yada the out of the last 10 minutes or so.
If you leave it to me, he doesn't have to speak.
Fair point. In fact, wouldn't this be her strong suit? She could be in the corner of the interrogation room pulling out thoughts as the questions are asked. In fact, if she's this good and has this strong of an ability, isn't sending her out into the field a bit on the unnecessary and potentially wasteful side? If anything were to happen to her, the whole department has wasted a very valuable resource.
Welcome to the inside of your head. It's kind of empty in here.
Did Anderson just create her own Cerebro? Because it looks like Anderson just created her own Cerebro.
You're giving us two options, defend or hide.
Is this really the best scenario to pause for all these teaching moments? This seems like a super convenient time for Anderson's psychic abilities to not be working. Holy f***, at what point does the height of the building start to f*** with the building's very existence?
I can shut down the whole system, but if you let him talk, I can trace which terminal he's using.
Okay, but also you have all those cameras, right? And complete system control after murdering the dudes and faking the emergency test, eh? So why can't you pinpoint where he is without him needing to talk?
And as for you, Mama, judgment time.
How I'd give this movie all the sins back if he would say, "It's Judgment Night," and Emilio Estevez and Cuba Gooding Jr. showed up for no reason. The fashion police cited this guy twice. Once for being a discount Aziz Ansari cosplaying as Vincent Vega, and a second time for a more generic offense of spotted in public wearing a bad wig.
Incendiary.
Also, why aren't all this guns rounds incendiary? Why ever fire any other type of round? Wild Hogs Dark.
You prepared to testify to that?
Sure.
Because the movie didn't have enough villains, let's throw in 4 corrupt judges with 20 minutes left in the movie, just for shits and giggles.
Choke on it, Dredd.
Jesus, this movie can be fun as but it has one-liners they wouldn't have used in the Stallone movie.
If you didn't get killed today, it was gonna be tomorrow, or was it gonna be the day after that?
Secondary villain is talking when he should be killing cliché.
What's the price of a judge these days?
Well, if you're only worth what people are willing to spend, and looking at the box office for this film, I'm guessing about $350.
It's a f***ing meat grinder. People go in one end, and meat comes out the other.
This is also known as the Fargo dilemma.
Yeah, I'd be breaking a sweat if you hadn't just run out of bullets.
And he knew this how? I'm sure the movie will explain. No? Okay then, carry on.
Armor piercing.
If you're doing some judge-on-judge action, why would the gun ever not be on armor piercing? Also, judge-on-judge action was the name of my defense team in college mock trial.
Wait. Are you kidding me? Did you just say wait?
Well, it worked, didn't it?
The code to Mama's chambers is 49436.
In the future, the drug lord of a 70,000 resident tower society who has built a 10-inch steel combination wall to protect her used a 5-digit pin.
This entire level is rigged with enough high explosives to take out the top 50 stories.
Man, it's a shame that this movie couldn't come up with a climax less generic than "I've rigged explosives and I've got my finger on the button."
My heart stops beating. The building blows. Everyone in it, ash.
That's kind of a dick move, though, if you end up dying of natural causes. Also, this is essentially the opening of Demolition Man, right? Just with less yellow hair and Beetlejuice pants. This is far too beautiful to death for such an ugly character. Speaking about her soul, not her face. Say, boss, how will folks know that Dredd was right about the transmitter not working from that distance? You mean other than the building not blowing up? Yeah. Let's show that wrist thingy blinking for several seconds, like something's wrong with it. What color? Jesus, Terry, make a f***ing decision for once. But seriously, how does this work? And why even chance it? At this point, couldn't he just take her in alive and they could figure out how to disarm the explosives? He doesn't have to kill her right now. They can carry out her death sentence once they've made sure everyone else at Peachtree survives.
Your assessment's now over.
That thing comes off that easily? And it never came off this whole movie, even on accident?
When I heard you called in at 1024, I thought I'd better check it out.
Hours later.
Mega City 1.
Narration. And narration we already heard in the beginning of the movie. Bookended repeateration?
Nobody is taking dates. It's a bunch of guys going to a boxing match. That's it.
We have a positive ID on 3 suspects, wanted on multiple counts. Any judges, please respond.
I am the law!
Survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines.
Would you mind not shooting at the thermonuclear weapons?
Cooper. Sorry. I always get an erection when a beautiful woman uses a pair of pliers near my balls.
Talk about what, Judge?
Don't pander to me, kid. One tiny crack in the hull and our blood boils in 13 seconds. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
I should have been born a man. I'd rather face 1,000 swords than be shot up inside with this flock of frightened hens.
How the f*** we gonna stop this guy?
My God, do we really suck? Or is this guy really that good?